Hey guys, welcome to my channel BitGlenn. My name's Glenn and I like to share with you what I learn in the world of cryptocurrencies as I go through it. So in today's video, I wanted to actually discuss what I believe are going to be the top 10 coins that you should be holding during the bear market so that you can fully take advantage during the bull market that I believe is coming up within the next 6 to 12 months. But what are my top 10 picks? Well, let's get right into the video and check it out. So before we get into my top 10 list, I just want to say a quick shout out. Thank you to everyone that's been smashing that like button. I really do appreciate it. It helps with the channel grow. And also all the people that have been subscribing. I've gained quite a few followers in the last week or two. So I'm just about to hit the 2,000 subscriber mark. So hopefully by the time this video goes out there, we should hit the 2,000 subscriber mark. If you want to chat to me through social medias, I'm actually most active on Twitter, which is the name BitGlenn. Or if you want to talk to Team BitGlenn, which is me and group of guys that have been in the world of cryptocurrencies for a few years now, we have a Telegram group chat called Team BitGlenn. And there's no shilling, no scams, just me and I think about 200 other guys that all chat all things cryptocurrency, and we try to have a bit of a banter and a laugh along the way. But that's enough of me shilling my social medias. Let's crack right into the top 10 list. I've tried to list these coins in what I feel are the most level-headed approach going into the next bull run. If you was to pick stocks and shares, for example, you would look at businesses that have performed well over a period of time. You wouldn't just pick a business that has gone to zero, but you'd say, oh, hopefully it'll go to its all-time highs again. And I know that with cryptocurrencies, there's a lot of those at the moment, but I've tried to pick coins that have actually performed either very stable during a very volatile downward trend, or ones that have actually been going up in valuation during a bear market. So that would imply that going into the next bull run, when you start seeing news articles come out on websites and the price of coins just pump left, right and center, that typically these are going to perform slightly better over a longer period of time. Now, don't get me wrong, there are loads of coins on there that if you went to page 5, and a lot of YouTubers do this because it grabs people's attention and it's sort of entertaining to watch, they will just reel off a list of coins. It's on page 7 of CoinMarketCap's website, and they will say, oh yeah, this is going to be the future of gaming or advertising or privacy coins. And I have seen many videos like that. But I actually thought these are all just looking to pick lottery tickets, and that's essentially what some of these projects are, and a lot of YouTubers do that. I understand why, because it gets a lot more views, a lot more subscribers, a lot more attention. But on this channel, BitGlenn here, we tried to take a more level-headed approach to cryptocurrency. So if you appreciate that, hit the like button and click subscribe. So let's get right into the top 10 list. So at number 10, Hex. Now I know what you're thinking, oh no, Glenn's starting to shill scam coins. What I've tried to do with this list is actually list them from 10 to 1. Depending on your appetite for risk, you may put these in different orders in your head, but I've listed them what I feel are sort of the highest appetite for risk, all the way down to the lowest risk, if you can say that in the world of cryptocurrency, but what I feel was the lowest risk coin going forward. Number 10 is Hex. Now, why would I put this as the highest risk one? At the moment, there's a lot of people saying that this is a scam coin and Richard Hart's just cashing in on this, creating this token. But I believe that he has actually created a really cool concept of a certificate of deposit. So if you was to go to your bank and say, right, here's £10,000, I would like to put it in some account that I can't touch for 6 months, a year, 18 months, they would sort of turn around and say to you, okay, we're going to give you this in return. And that's what Hex is. Hex is a certificate of deposit. You deposit and stake your coins and you get a set amount back at the end of your stake. I think this is going to be a really cool project, and because it's so new, this has only just started about 5 months ago. So this is actually the newest cryptocurrency out of my top 10 list, which therefore obviously would imply it has the highest risk of going to zero. So please bear that in mind. We have seen a drop in price. It has almost 50% dropped from where its all-time high. But remember, this has only been out for 5 months. And if we look at this graph, it has consistently gone up in price. If you was to draw a straight line going from the bottom to the top, you would see that it has actually been performing pretty well over the long term. I believe that going into a bull market where everyone's going to be looking for cheap altcoins that are going to pump, I think this is going to be on the top of their list, especially the way that Richard Hart markets it. And I've always said that cryptocurrencies need good marketing, otherwise they won't perform. There's too many people shouting too many coins. You have to have the loudest voice and the biggest marketing budget. So Hex, with the power of Richard Hart's notoriety within the cryptocurrency community, that's really going to help it push forward during the bull markets. So that's my number 10 pick, Hex. I would highly suggest with all of these coins that I'm listing today that you go over to their website, you do your own research, and you look into whether you feel like they're a successful cryptocurrency or not, where they're going in the future, before you make any purchasing decisions. If you do decide to invest in Hex, there is a link in the description down below. It will take you to their page. If you decide to purchase Hex through the AA transform, so if we go over to the Hex webpage, it's got all the information you need there. There is a lot of info to take in here. I have spent the last couple of weeks and I seem to be finding something new out about Hex every day. So I would highly suggest that you do your research before you make any investments. If you do decide to invest in Hex, there is a link in the description down below. It is a referral link, but when you actually purchase Hex through the AA transform lobby, you actually get 10% extra Hex tokens added to your purchase. So it's in your best interest to do it, but just for a disclaimer, I also get a referral bonus for that. So it's entirely up to you. So let's move on to the next coin. So at number 9, we have Monero. Now Monero has been consistently considered the best privacy coin. Now there have been God knows how many tokens that have come out and tried to knock Monero off its perch of being the best privacy coin, and over the 3 years that I've been involved in cryptocurrency, I've not seen one replace it yet. If we have a look at where they are and where they have been, you can see that actually they're still higher than they were before the big bull run in 2017, and actually their highest point was $475. Currently we're sitting at about $65, so that has a potential, if it was to go back to where it was at the all-time highs in the next bull run, of about a 7 to 8x in your investment. So this is a really good opportunity because I have not seen any cryptocurrency come out yet that has knocked Monero out for its technology of privacy when sending and receiving tokens. And if you go to the Monero website, it's very clean, very clear. Talks a lot about privacy and how it's secure and it's very decentralized. But what's going to happen to Monero going forward? That's a tricky one, because if the world government start clamping down on privacy because they want to know when and where you send your money and how much and who to, they may actually clamp down on coins like Monero, which I think will even probably increase its popularity and probably push it underground. You would say that there's going to be less support for it on exchanges and places like Coinbase. But I would really love to see Monero going up. I don't actually hold any Monero at the moment, but I'm looking to buy some Monero just in case it really has that bull run that I think that it could potentially have, especially in the next bull run. Let's check out number 8. So my number 8 pick in cryptocurrency coins is Chainlink. Chainlink has performed very well, and this is what I'm talking about. If you look at where Chainlink was a couple of years ago and where it is now, you can see it has vastly increased its valuation over that period. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, does that mean it's too late to get into? Because everyone wants to get in at its lowest point. But if you was looking at this like a business, you would see that this continuous continuous uptrend in price would only lead you to think that this is going to continue. Obviously, I'm not offering financial advice, no promises, and I'll probably say that a couple times in this video. Any altcoin can pump and dump, but the ones that really, I think, hold the most value are ones that actually continuously go up in price. And you can see that here with Chainlink. Now, what is Chainlink? If we go over to their website, it talks about smart contracts and actually linking different blockchains together. So currently the system we have is Bitcoin is its own blockchain, Ethereum is its own blockchain, EOS, Tezos, they're their own blockchains, and they can't really talk to each other. You have them all running in their own lanes. What Chainlink hopes to do is actually connect certain smart contract features from one blockchain to another so that there can be a jump or a bridge between. Now, this could be very, very important going forward, because in the world of cryptocurrencies, there might be a feature on Ethereum that you would love to see potentially in Bitcoin, and Chainlink could offer that bridge. So it's very exciting to see where Chainlink's going to go going forward, and I hope the best for this project. But the way that the current valuations are, it actually looks quite promising. A trend that we're going to see quite a bit in these cryptocurrencies is that obviously at this point here, sort of February, March this year, massive sell-off with a lot of the coins. Obviously COVID-19, which is a black swan event, and it affected everything because in the past cash has been king. So you'll recognize this big slump here in lots of cryptocurrencies. But what's really impressed me with Chainlink is look how quick it has bounced back. It almost looks like a V-shaped return, a bit like how the stock market is performing at the moment. So that would signify there's a lot of confidence in Chainlink. But that's it for my number 8 pick. Let's go over to number 7. Number 7, I have Basic Attention Token. Now, why would I rate this higher than, say, Chainlink or Monero? Well, if you actually look at Basic Attention Token, it is very heavily pegged to its web browser, Brave. Brave browser is just like your normal Google Chrome, Apple Safari, or your Internet Explorer, but they have a very unique way of collecting all the data that a lot of these platforms collect from us, and actually specifically the new adverts that cater to what it is that you search for. Now, Google does this all the time. What is different with the Basic Attention Token is that it will actually reward you for watching those videos. So normally Google collects all that data and it puts adverts right in front of your face, and you watch it, click it, or have a little sidebar, whatever it may be, and Google collect all the revenue from that. They don't share it with anyone, they collect it all themselves. Basic Attention Token is offering the user the chance to actually benefit from their own data that is collected using a web browser. I think that this is a really unique proposition, and we've seen a few of these actually come up. Over the last couple of years, I've had a few people comment and say to me, Glenn, check this out. But I like stuff that actually does what it says on the tin, and the Brave browser is available to download now. There is a link in the description down below, and my review of it a couple of weeks ago is that it actually improved my internet browsing experience. YouTube runs super fast, no adverts, and then every now and then a little message will pop up saying an advert is available for your attention. You watch the advert and you receive Basic Attention Token for it. So very, very slick. I really like Basic Attention Token. If we look back at its price, again, you would say, okay, Glenn, well, this hasn't performed as well as Chainlink, but this has a network effect. So Chainlink is a project or a protocol that is being made and is in the process of being made. It hasn't actually got a use case at the moment, but the Basic Attention Token, you can use it now. And the last time I checked, the amount of users and the amount of downloads for the Brave browser is going up. And even people like on Joe Rogan's podcast that he does, they were talking about privacy online, and someone brought up, oh yeah, there's this new one called Brave. They didn't mention the cryptocurrency side of it, but they actually brought up the Brave web browser, which you would imply is going to generate more and more interest over time. There's going to be more and more downloads of it. Some people will prefer it, some people will hate it, but it's going to have an upward trajectory. Now, alongside that Brave browser, people are then going to be like, oh, I can earn Brave tokens. What's that mean? And once they realize there's actually a value to that, I can see people actually accumulating basic attention token. You can also use it for tipping people. So if you're watching this video via the Brave browser, you can actually click at the top and you can actually leave me a tip if you want to. Someone done it the other day and I really appreciate that, which means it's great for creators, which means they're going to use it more and promote it more, which means then more people are going to see that and then they're going to onboard. And I can see this going up over a period of time. So in the next bull run, this is actually a thing that you can actually download and use right now, not in the future, right now. So I think this is great. So that's enough of basic attention token. Let's move on over to my number 6 pick. We have Tezos. Tezos is its own blockchain. So therefore there are going to be dApps that are created on it, and there are going to be platforms that are built on top of Tezos. And if we actually look at the Tezos token, it has performed pretty well ever since it was created. There was a slump, and I've done a video about this. They had a lawsuit that was pending and no one actually knew what was going to happen to the Tezos platform. But they've got past that now. The lawsuits are over as far as I know, and the price of Tezos has just increased. And you can see here, yet again, because of COVID-19, it had a massive slump in price. Brilliant time to buy in. But it has very quickly, within a couple of months, has gone back up, and it is almost at its all-time highs again, where it was back in February. Now, Tezos is actually on Coinbase, which is the largest way of new people coming into the space. But what's unique about Tezos is they are offering staking rewards, or how other people will probably see it as interest. So you can buy £100 or dollars worth of Tezos on coinbase.com, and you will have a little ticker that shows you how much you're earning every single minute of every day. So you're just generating more money. Now, with a secure platform like Coinbase, I can imagine people with big sums of money looking to get into Bitcoin or Ethereum, then going down the list and saying, oh, what's this Tezos? Oh, look, I can generate X, Y, and Z a day. And they're going to think, why have I got 10 grand in the bank? Why have I got 50 grand in the bank? I might as well put it onto this Coinbase platform, buy some Tezos and just sit there and watch it. And if the price of it ever dips, I'll just cash out. So that's a huge selling point. That's not the only reason why I think Tezos has a good, bright future ahead of it. Like I said, it is its whole own blockchain, and they offer things like baking, a very unique way of staking coins and actually being a sort of a developer on the platform that can offer really good rewards. The thing that's really unique with Tezos is that it's always upgradable. So if a developer thought, oh, I wish Tezos could do this, they can actually submit an invoice to the blockchain, and the blockchain can choose to accept or decline it. You've got a lot more chance of actually getting your idea through and seeing the light of day. Whereas a lot of work that's performed on Ethereum has to be dictated by the powers to be first. So they're hoping that that means their blockchain is just going to develop at a faster rate than Ethereum. Whether that happens, time will tell. So that's enough of Tezos. Let's move on over to my next top pick. So at number 5, we have Cardano. Why would I pick Cardano? I have no holdings of Cardano at all. And it's one of the coins, if you look at the graph, which I said I was actually going to try and avoid. And that is having a massive spike during the all-time highs and then obviously a big race down to zero. But what we've seen in Cardano the last few months is the price has steadily rose. If I click on the long scale chart rather than a linear, you can see that it has had a really good run up in price. Obviously COVID-19 happened, but then it has very quickly rose again. So in the last 6 months or so, it has performed really well, but still a very low valuation of just over 8 cents. Its all-time high was $1.24, which is humongous. So the chances of this going up again is very, very high. So that is why I felt like it should be on this list. Now Cardano yet again is going to have its own blockchain, and they are going to be doing staking rewards, and there is a lot of buzz and a lot of talk of this being put onto the Coinbase platform very soon once the mainnet launches. Now I haven't spoke too much about Cardano, and I've kept my eye on it and read articles, and Cardano has an ethos where they talk about doing lots of research first, then action, rather than lots of action and then having to retrace on what they've done, which is a good way, I suppose. It means that once they actually release something, the chances are it should be pretty good, because they've had such a long time to actually develop and promise people it is they want to deliver. I wasn't too bullish on Cardano. The price has been going up over the last few months, so that's something to keep an eye on. But what really sparked my interest was the actual creator of Cardano actually set dates in place of the testnet that is going to start, I think, in the next week or so, and then the mainnet going live, and the project actually being sort of almost completed, I think, by August. So that gives you between 2.5-3 months of it being at the prices that it's at now. Then it's going to be offering staking rewards to help secure the platform, and there are a lot of talk about staking and securing network and proof of stake, but Cardano are offering a very unique way of staking, which actually offers a very decentralized manner of staking. If you look at all these other staking platforms, they tend to have a few wows, if you like, few big holders of their token, and obviously you taking part as small dribs and drabs here and there. But Cardano actually want to scrap that. They want the whole thing to be decentralized and it to be fair and even amongst everyone. So they're going for a very different approach, and what they're actually trying to achieve is very ambitious in the world of cryptocurrency. So there is a lot of room for growth, and you have to say that it looks like we've hit a bottom. Sort of 2.5-3 cent was, I would say, their bottom. So there is a lot of room for them to grow, especially as their all-time high price was $1.24, which is a potential return on investment of 15x. So this is a huge potential for something that hasn't actually gone live yet, and we will be seeing that hopefully within the next couple of months. So let's move straight on over to pick number 4. At number 4, we have the Celsius network. If you go back sort of 2 or 3 years time, when I got involved in cryptocurrency, there were talks of lending platforms, but none of them had actually come through. Like, you couldn't actually borrow against your Bitcoin or your Ethereum at the time. And if you did, you didn't know whether to trust them or not, because they'd only just came out and it seemed like a scam at the time. But the only options you really had was invest in your Bitcoin into things like BitConnect. We all know that ended. Or you could just hodl, or you can buy and sell on an exchange. You would try and buy when it was low and sell when it was high, and that's pretty much it. Sticking to this philosophy of just holding on to their Bitcoin, the only options you really had was to hold on to it to this current day, which obviously since the last bull run has been about 3 years worth, or you could have sold at a loss. That's not really great either way. So what we want to do is to be able to leverage our Bitcoin and actually get money from it, so that way we're ticking both boxes. If Bitcoin has a big drop in price, we still have the Bitcoin, but because of the big run up, we actually managed to get some money out. Now, I'm actually going to be doing a more in-depth video about this, so tick that little bell notification to get notified when I do upload videos, but I'll be doing an exit strategy using some of these lending platforms. But we can have a look here that the Celsius network, if we click on their homepage, it's got all different types of rates. You can earn money from your cryptocurrency, so earn interest on your Bitcoin, which this is a revolution in the last couple of years that have come about. You can even multiply this by, instead of getting paid, say, if you want to earn Bitcoin interest, you can choose to either get paid it in Bitcoin or in the CEL token. If you choose to get it in the CEL token, you get a lot more interest. So if you're just all about those interest gains, you would be better off with the CEL token. The Celsius network also has a very good reputation in the space, and the guy that actually runs it, which I believe is Alec Maskinski, I've pronounced that completely wrong, but he created the first VoIP network, which was voice over internet protocol, which it was free for customers. He then offered he set up a business where he created a cellular data network in the New York underground train networks, and he offered that as a free service to people. So this is a guy that is very, very clued up on the value of networking and offering free services to people that then have an inherent value because people start to rely on that system. And he's created this cellular network, and he believes that this is going to be a great thing going forward. I'm with him on that, and I think the more free services that are out there and services that offer their customers the best sort of experience, the more people that are going to onboard onto cryptocurrency and be able to use it going forward. The cellular network also pay out their customers of Cell Token 80% of all revenue that the company make. So the company keeps 20% revenue and they share the 80% out with holders of the Cell Token. So this is awesome. It's like investing again in a stocks and shares in a market. Now if we go back to the token price, you can see here actually it has remained quite steady over a long period of time, even during the volatile times, but it's had a run up recently starting from sort of November. It had a run up in price, but as again COVID-19 struck and the price slumped. So the price went right down to sort of 6 cents. Now this is quite rare actually. In this top 10 list, you'll notice that a lot of them are heading back up to where they were in November, but this one has surpassed it. So not only has it got back to where it was, it's gone way beyond where it was at before. Currently in November, we was at 17 cents, and as of at the moment, we're at 24 cents. So we've surpassed its all-time high. Now, you have to think that that has happened during a bear market. It has surpassed its all-time high. Now, I challenge you to go onto CoinMarketCap and find decent projects that you can actually use today that have surpassed its all-time high. There are not many on that list. So I'm expecting big things. Now, I don't actually hold any Celsius tokens, but I will be going forward as something that I'm looking to invest in going forward. So let's move on over to my number 3. So at number 3, we have the CRO token, or Crypto.com coin. Now I've actually cheated, so I'm going to come clean. I've cheated. I've done a top 10 list, but I've included 11 cryptocurrencies. Why is that? Well, Crypto.com, as you may know, have two types of tokens. They have MCO and CRO. Now for new people coming into space, this seems quite confusing, but I'm going to explain it very simply to you. The CRO token is a token that runs and stabilizes their exchange service. So the same with like the exchange Binance, they have their own token called BNB, and they burn tokens every so often, and they offer you cheaper exchange rates when you make trades on their platform. The CRO does exactly the same. So anything to do with Crypto.com's exchange service, that is the CRO token. Anything to do with one of these bad boys, the MCO credit and debit card that they offer, that is MCO. So if you make purchases using this card and you get the cashback rewards, you get it in MCO. If there's incentives or anything going on, it's in MCO. If you want to stake their coin, that's in MCO. All you have to think is MCO is for the card and CRO is for their exchange, which is this page here. Now, if you want to get involved in their syndicate events, or if you want to stake any of the coins, or you want to make trades, so buy and sell cryptocurrencies, you would use the CRO token. So I've cheated, I'm sorry, I've used 2 coins in one. So the CRO token is probably the most interesting at the moment. The exchange service for Crypto.com, from what I believe, is not available in America. So we have an opportunity there for massive growth if this was to be opened up to America. At the moment, it's available in the UK and Europe, and I think they might have opened up in Canada as well, and Australia and New Zealand. So they're really branching out. They're spread out all over the world. I believe they're a Hong Kong company, so I would imagine it's available in many parts of Asia. But I looked at crypto.com many moons ago, and I was looking at the CRO token, and at the time it was just under 6 cents. And I remember doing a video and I said, I thought, I won't get involved in that just yet because the card wasn't available in my region, and I just never thought to use their exchange. I don't actually do any trading, so I don't even know my login details for Binance anymore, and I very rarely use any exchange platform for anything other than if I want to purchase some coins and then send it to another wallet. I never really used the crypto.com exchange, so I didn't buy the coins, but I noticed that they was on an upward trajectory, and I wish I'd bought more then. I have about 10,000 CRO tokens currently, and I'm actually staking those, and they offer a staking rewards of 20% per annum, which is huge. It's probably one of the best staking rewards I've seen. So this is the CRO token. Now, if we go down to the price movements of it, you can see that its all-time high was about 12 cents. That was in March 2019, dropped down, and it stayed for quite a while at around the 3 cent mark, and this would have been an awesome time to get involved. But they've since then, which I would say November 2019, it has steadily rose, and again COVID-19 happened. But if you remember all the other charts that I've shown you previously up to this one, had a massive drop off in price, and then it's taken months to get back to where it was. This one only had a small slump, and then it got back to where it was within the space of a couple of weeks. I think the slump for a lot of cryptocurrencies happened around the second week of March, and by the 1st of April, so you're talking half a month, it was back to where it was. So this is really a quick recovery for a massive pandemic. This shows that there must be huge confidence or a demand for this token going forward. And since then, it has just rose and rose and rose. And just some examples I want to show you guys, because I've been keeping my eye on CRO token, and I've actually wanted to get in at a lower price, and I was waiting for it to get to sort of 8 cents. I thought there would be a drop off, maybe a pullback a bit. Bitcoin dropped to it dropped to $1,000 the other day, and I thought, yes, that means all the others are going to drop. CRO was the only token that did not drop. I'll just show you that so you guys know I'm not just lying. So this was a screenshot I took. Bitcoin dropped from about 10,200 down to about 9,400. Later on that day, it sort of picked back up again to 9,600. But all of the altcoins were down. Every single one. Apart from, if we look right at the bottom, crypto.com up 3.5%. I was thinking, God, when's this coin going to have a drop in price so I can buy in? So every day I'm leaving it because I'm waiting for this drop, and it's just not happening. So I feel like I'm missing out there a little bit. I should have probably got in a bit sooner, but this is definitely one to look out for. And even when it got to 10 cents, I thought, okay, maybe that would be a psychological barrier and it'll drop. But no, in the last 2 days, and even while recording this video, it's actually up almost 6% just today, and it's almost at 11 cents. So I can see this going past its all-time high, and once you're past that all-time high, it's new records every day. Every day that it goes up to 11.5, 12, 12.5, 13, it's just, that is the new all-time high, and who knows where it's going to be. There's no resistance levels at that sort of, once you're past that, and obviously we hope Bitcoin goes to there one day. Now, in terms of the actual top rankings of cryptocurrencies and the actual total market cap, currently this is at 1.8 billion. If we look at some of the ones above it, they're at 2.5 billion. Binance Coin is currently at 2.7 billion. Now, this is offering very similar services to the Binance Coin. I think crypto.com is going to be more popular than Binance. I know that's a lot of you love Binance out there, but I honestly believe, combined with the services of the card, offering a very simple way to get into cryptocurrency at a very low rate, and you have the exchange service built into the background there, I think that crypto.com is offering way more services than Binance, and I actually think Binance are trying to catch up with crypto.com. And we've even seen Coinbase are starting to offer, they offer a card, but they offer nowhere near the services that crypto.com offer. And they offer now, with the Tezos, they've started to offer staking. but crypto.com offer that with loads and loads of different coins already. So I honestly can see crypto.com, the CRO token and the MCO coins being way more valuable than they are currently. Even the MCO token hasn't performed as well as the CRO token, but we can see here when COVID happened, it did drop in price. Again, the first sort of second week in March, it dropped all the way to sort of $2.50 drop when COVID-19 struck, and it just shot straight back up again within a week. So it actually recovered quicker than the CRO token. It hasn't hit all-time highs. The all-time highs for this token $22 each, and I remember those times actually because I was really interested in the MCO getting the card back then, and I thought, God, you had to stake 50 MCO to get one of these cards initially. Now obviously at a price of $22, that's about $1,100 to get the base metal card, the 2% cashback rewards. And obviously if you want the other ones that you need 500 MCO or 5,000 MCO, that's going to cost you way more than it currently is at the moment. At the moment they're about $4 to $5 depending on the given day, and you can currently get one of these metal cards for about $250 depending on the day. Obviously we're having a bit of a dip day today, so this is a great time to get one of those cards, because once you've got that 50 MCO, that's it. You stake that for 6 months. It doesn't matter if the price goes up, down, left, right. You don't need to increase your MCO. You just buy 50 MCO and you've got your card. If you ever decide you want to get the more expensive cards with the higher cashback rewards, I think now's a great time. And as this card goes into new markets, new areas, and as it's used more and more, I use this card now several times a day, which is insane to think of a cryptocurrency card. It's overtaken the use that I use on my normal debit card. So I've got really big hopes for MCO, and you can stake the MCO tokens and you earn interest on those as well. Not as high as CRO, but you can get sort of 12 to 16% APR, which is still way better than any currency you're going to get in any bank. So this is my number 2 pick, the NEXO platform. I haven't really spoke about NEXO much, and again, like the Cellulus one, they offer lending on your cryptocurrency, but theirs is done sort of like in an algorithm where you can actually borrow up to about 52 to 53% of Bitcoin, which is one of the higher ones out there. They don't require you to hold any of their token, and they don't offer to pay you out in their token. They hold your crypto, you can lend against it. You can pay it back whenever you want for free, there's no fees, and currently the APR they're offering is 5.9%, which is quite low, and that's up to any amount. So you can put on here £100,000 worth of Bitcoin and you could quickly get £52,000 out of it, and you can go and spend that 52,000 and you still own all that Bitcoin. They don't get rid of it. Obviously, if Bitcoin drops and say your Bitcoin is now worth less than what you actually borrowed, so say it's got to, I don't know, £48,000 worth, they would actually say, look, you need to sell £2,000 worth of Bitcoin to cover the shortfall that you're short by, and you can actually set it up so it does it for you automatically. They will sell bits off for you so you don't even have to do anything. So when you come back to it later on, you could be like, oh, okay, my Bitcoin's gone down from 10 Bitcoin down to 9.5, but then you're not in any arrears, you haven't had to make any minimum payments, there's no monthly payment to be made. You do get charged interest every single day, so it will build up. They don't require you to pay like a set £200 a month, otherwise you're going to default on your payments. So just bear that in mind. Obviously you don't want to rack up loads of debt, otherwise your cryptocurrency will just get sold off. But again, this is awesome if you want to buy Bitcoin while it's cheap, watch it rise up, and you can borrow against it. Now they are talking about releasing this card, and unlike the crypto.com way where they have 2 different types of token and all of that, this is just going to be all in one. So they're going to offer the card with the lending platform, and let's say that you've put £10,000 worth of Bitcoin, so say one whole Bitcoin on there, and you haven't borrowed any money against it, but you're out and about and you think, oh, I really want to buy cinema ticket, but you haven't got 50 quid on you. You can use your NEXO card and you will owe £50 against your Bitcoin. You can pay that off whenever you like, or you can just leave it there, or you can sell a small amount of Bitcoin and pay that £50 back off. Entirely up to you. And with this sort of level of flexibility, it now gives you the option to, instead of just selling your Bitcoin to make profit, you can actually live off it. So this is awesome because it means you don't have to get rid of it. And I am going to be doing a video, like I said, about an exit strategy using these lending platforms. Now, what a lot of people are doing with NEXO, and the creator of NEXO, or the CEO, he actually said that this is a very unique space because people were just using their platform to borrow money to then go and buy more cryptocurrencies. So it's a very unique situation where people are trying to accumulate more of an asset. So I've noticed a lot of people have messaged me saying, Glenn, I'm looking at using NEXO. I'm going to double the amount of Bitcoin that I've got. Would you recommend? You have to be careful because you can double the amount of Bitcoin that you actually own using NEXO. And how do you do that? So I'm going to explain just very quickly. I'm not going to go into the full depths of it, but let's just say one Bitcoin is worth $10,000. You send one Bitcoin to NEXO. You then have an available balance of $5,000 that you can spend whenever you like. You use that $5,000 to buy another 0.5 of a Bitcoin. You send that to NEXO. Now you have 1.5 Bitcoin. But you've only borrowed 5,000 when really your crypto holdings are worth 15,000. So now you can borrow 7.5. You use that 7.5 to buy 0.25 of a Bitcoin, then 1.25, and then yada yada yada. It goes on and on and on. That way you can actually maximize the amount. You can actually double the amount of Bitcoin that you own within the space of 5 minutes. But what that means is that you will owe, for those 2 Bitcoin, you will owe 10,000. Now, if you're confident that the price of that Bitcoin will never drop below that amount, so let's say we had a big dump tomorrow and Bitcoin went down to about $7,500, and then you use this and you think, right, it's never going to go below this amount ever again. Now we're going to go straight to, 100,000K. Then yeah, that would be the perfect opportunity to utilize that strategy. The second that it drops below the 10,000 that you owe against those 2 Bitcoins, you're going to really struggle and they're going to actually sell off your Bitcoin. So then you're going to lose that amount. And plus obviously the interest that they're going to charge you every single day. So you really have to pick the right time to do this. But I'm not recommending it, but it's just something that a lot of people were doing. So that is why I think NEXO is going to have a huge run up going forward in the next bull run. I think the demand on the NEXO and the cellulose networks are going to be huge. And also crypto.com, because they also offer lending. So you'll notice a trend that in the last 3 coins that I've mentioned, they all offer financial and lending services. But if we want Bitcoin to be the money of the future, the money of the internet, we have to offer money services, and these companies are providing the best services at the moment. The all-time high with NEXO was currently about 35 cents. Currently we're at 13 cents, so that's a 3x return. But what's interesting with the NEXO platform, the NEXO token, is that you can actually use the NEXO coin, one, to get cheaper APRs and also to earn dividends. So this is, again, looking at it like a company. So if you was looking at this chart like a company, you would say, that's a very stable growth over quite a fair period of time, especially in the world of cryptocurrency, with very little dips in price. It has really maintained that sort of, if we look at the long chart, it has been very consistently around the 8 cent mark, sometimes dropping below it, sometimes being pumping above it, but it's been around that 8 cent mark. But in the last few months after COVID-19, you saw again, obviously there was a big run up, it was at 21 cent and it had a big drop off. And now it is going back to those levels, but it hasn't quite got there yet. And I think that this will hit new all-time highs. So in terms of getting bang for your buck, I think NEXO's being overlooked at the moment, and I think there's a really good opportunity. And once you hold their tokens, like I say, you can start earning dividends from the profits that this company make. They share it out to their NEXO token holders. So I think the NEXO token is going to be very similar to the cellulose, but we've seen that it's had that massive run up recently. I can see the same thing happening with NEXO. Not financial advice, just my opinion, and that's why I've put it above cellulose, because I think in terms of an investment, I think this has more opportunity to grow going forward. a lot of you may be watching this video and think, oh, yeah, obviously, yeah, it makes sense. Ethereum has done very well against Bitcoin. Ethereum was at that $180 only a couple of weeks ago. And even when Bitcoin goes on a bit of a bull run and it gains a couple of $100, Ethereum's gaining sort of $10, $20, which I know doesn't sound a lot, but in percentage terms, it's gaining more. But this is a trend that has been happening now for a couple of weeks. When Bitcoin goes on a run, Ethereum goes on a slightly a bigger run. It goes up a couple of percent more than Bitcoin. When there's a pullback, Ethereum's either staying the same price or dropping very, very little, whereas Bitcoin's losing a good couple of $100 here and there. But again, obviously that's all relevant to the price of the token, but the percentages have been a lot better with Ethereum. So we can see on this graph here that actually the Bitcoin price has been dropping for Ethereum, and Ethereum have a lot going on. So they are looking to upgrade the Ethereum blockchain to Ethereum 2.0, and they're going to be offering sort of a proof of stake system, and even in the future they're going to be offering a proof of stake type system, and they're even going to be trying to create this blockchain technology called sharding, which my small understanding of it is going to sort of be revolutionary if they can pull it off. A lot of the other altcoins that are out there run on Ethereum, so if Ethereum went down and all ERC20 tokens crashed, that would be the end of a lot of cryptocurrency projects that you would see in the top, God knows how many there are now, 5,000, 6,000 coins. So Ethereum is the front runner. It's the one with the most development. It has the biggest network effects. There are more people developing on Ethereum than anything else. It has had more development currently on it than Bitcoin. If you was to look at, say, Bitcoin, it has had no technical advancements, whereas Ethereum continuously is evolving and upgrading and changing, and people adding stuff to it, and the ecosystem is going up. So I actually think that Ethereum has a huge way to go. Now, in my mind, and again, I'm not offering financial advice, and I'm not going to say, oh yeah, look, what if it goes to its all-time highs. The narrative around Ethereum is different this time round. People were talking about Ethereum before as if it was going to either flip Bitcoin or it was going to be better than Bitcoin. I don't think that that's the case. But I think there's a massive, massive use case for Ethereum. And I think all these projects that require Ethereum to be paid in fees for their blockchain need to be paid in Ethereum. And the technical advancements that they're going to have, I think that this is probably the largest opportunity you're going to have to increase your wealth. I don't like making big shout outs, but I even saw someone talking about Bitcoin going to, like, I don't know, 400, 500,000 per coin within the next couple of years, and they think Ethereum is going to go to $9,000 per coin. That's big statements, but I can see it going up to 2,500, 3,000 within the next bull run. I don't offer any technical analysis, so I'm not going to draw any triangles and circles and stuff like that for you. But if we look at where it was at before, we can see that it actually got up to 1,300 during obviously the big bull run. But like I say, the narrative is completely different for Ethereum now. There's a lot of people talking as if they really trust Ethereum, whereas before people were like, is it a pump and dumps group? Is it going to collapse with the fall of all the ICOs? Well, it's outrode all of those, and it's managed to do it with ease, and it's fast. You can actually pick and choose how quick you want your transactions to go through. Really, really, they're offering a decentralized. The next wave of sort of big hype words are going to be decentralized finance, lending platforms, interest, staking, and guess what? All of them are being built on Ethereum. You've got the Maker token, which people are using to actually create DAO, which is a stable coin. So Ethereum has its own stable coin that doesn't rely on US dollars or gold being stored somewhere in the real world. It's all done with smart contracts and decentralized finance. So Ethereum, yet again, like the ICO buzz, I think they're going to have a huge hyperwave of decentralized finance, exchanges, stable coins, staking coins. All of this stuff is going to be built on top of Ethereum, and we're going to see Ethereum really, really rock it, especially with the Ethereum 2.0. So they're my top 10 picks. Now, a quick disclaimer, and I know this video has gone on quite a long time already, but something to be cautious of. All of these coins are great. I'm sure at some point they will all have their day where they hit new all-time highs. I'm pretty confident of that. Every single coin that I've mentioned in today's video, I think will hit new all-time highs within the next at least 12 to 18 months. But what you have to think of is, what is that all-time high in comparison to the big daddy Bitcoin? Now, this isn't in my top 10 list, but I just want you to be wary that when Bitcoin pumps, they all tend to pump. There's been a couple of cases in those top 10 where actually it's outperformed Bitcoin, CRO being one of those, the Cellulose token being another one of those. They have currently outpaced Bitcoin. So if you sold your Bitcoin and bought those coins over the last couple of months, you would have had better gains. But Bitcoin tends to have its biggest runs or biggest pumps normally only over the course of 10 to 15 days of a year. So if you're not in Bitcoin for those 10 to 15 days, you're going to lose out massively, because these coins normally then follow behind Bitcoin. As the price of Bitcoin goes up, the dominance of Bitcoin, so currently the Bitcoin dominance is at 64%, which is, if you look at the history of it, it has had lower times during the big ICO runs, but it has had times where it's been 95, 91%. The last big time was 85%. And what will happen, and this will happen again because people want more money, when Bitcoin goes on a run, everyone will sell their altcoins, apart from the really passionate few. They will all sell their altcoins and they will want to buy Bitcoin whilst it's going up in price. Once it's at a price that they think, I think, Bitcoin's gone on a run, what's the next thing that's going to go up, pump in price? That is when all of these coins that I've mentioned will have their biggest days. That's probably the best financial advice I can give you without financially advising you. Just based on what's happened in the past. So that's it, guys, from me. What do you think of my review of the top 10 altcoins that are going to make you rich going into the next bull run? I'd love to hear all your comments. Are there any coins that you think, Glenn, you forgot this, what about that? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I can only look into so many cryptocurrencies at any given time, so please comment down below what your thoughts are. Or you can tag me in them on Twitter under the name BitGlenn. Or you can join the Telegram group chat, which is Team BitGlenn. There are a few of the guys in there that have their favourite coins, but we tried to not have any shilling in that group chat, otherwise you will get trolled by the admins in there and eventually you will get banned. We just want to have a adult, safe conversation about cryptocurrencies, and I welcome any of you to join that. Smash that like button and also click subscribe if you're new to this channel. That's it from me, guys. I'll see you on the next video from BitGlenn. Bye.